Hi there, we're going to go ahead, now that we've got our simple spaceship, we've set up our game, we're going to go ahead and actually give our player some ammo. So go ahead and in your stem fuse, go click on Create Spaceship Bullets. We're over here in Construct 3. You should have loaded up your game, and remember, these are your two tabs. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the start page because then I've got more room. Gonna move these guys over so I can really kind of see my playing field. All right, so let's get started. The very first thing we're going to do is we're gonna go ahead and build our sprite. We've got to add our sprite. So when you are adding your sprite, you could either right click on object type, or you could just go right here and say create new object. We're gonna go down to sprite. If you are like me and you clicked a little too fast, then you forgot to name him, but we'll go back and do that in a second. What our instructions are telling us to do is we're going to resize this square, and we're simply just going to make a little like colored square as our bullet. So remember, this is the resize. Nope, that's crop. This is the resize button, and we are going to resize it to 18 by 18. Hit enter. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to color him any color I'd like. I'm going to do yellow. When you are ready, you can go ahead and click off of this. Like I said, I forgot to name him, so I'm going to come over here and go to rename. And this will be player ammo. Sweet. I'm going to zoom out. View. Zoom out, just so I could see my whole screen. Next. All right, now we're going to go ahead and add some bullet behavior. So you're going to find that this is a very common trend when we are adding behaviors to our sprites. So you want to make sure that you have your sprite highlighted over here, and then you have your properties bar. In the properties bar, you will see the tab for behaviors. We're going to add behaviors, and you're not going to believe this, but there's actually a bullet behavior. So you're going to come down here to movements, and you will add the bullet behavior. And if we went ahead and previewed our game, you would see that it's just flying off the screen. So that's good so far, but we're going to fix that. You can move it wherever you want. Maybe yours flew off the screen too quickly. There it goes. Don't forget, you want to save. Yes, I would like to. So now what we're going to do is we're going to actually add some keyboard interactivity. So come over here to player objects. We're going to do add new object type. This time we're going to come into here for input. Look at these. These are your 4 different inputs that a player could use. In this case, we're going to use the keyboard. And now we've added the keyboard. What you'll want to do, yeah, we'll do that. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to actually add some features to that keyboard. Our goal is when we click the space key, we want our spaceship to shoot out bullets. So what we're going to do is we are going to add an on-key press condition. We are going to add our very first piece of code. So to begin, click the Add Event link on the ES game sheet to bring up the Add Event window. So we're going to come over here, and I double-clicked on it to give me this screen. Also, if you have it as a tab up here, we could come up here. And now you'll go to Add Event. When I was doing this on my laptop last night, my properties bar was kind of covering up Add Event. So if you don't see it, try and move your properties bar down, and you'll see this Add Event. What we are going to do is we are going to add an event to the keyboard. So you'll double-click on keyboard. And what we're going to add is we are going to say when the key is down. So when we hold the space bar down, we're going to shoot off a bullet. So when the key is down, double click on this. Now you should see this is our parameters for keyboard window. We'll click right here, and when you press, and you could put any key in here, but we're going to press the space bar. So when the space bar is pressed, something's going to happen. Now, what we want to happen is another object to get spawned. So on the event sheet, you now see the condition of when the spacebar is pressed, and ultimately, we want an action to happen. So we're going to come right here, we'll click Add Action. We want our player, so go ahead and double click on the player, to spawn another object. So we're going to come down here to the miscellaneous section and we'll do spawn another object. And what object do we want to spawn? Well, we want a bullet to pop up. We want our ammo to happen. So here we go. You've just added your first piece of code. When we press the space bar, we should spawn more ammo. So let's go ahead and test this out. And it's not working. This is a really common mistake. Trust me, I worked on it for about an hour last night. When I woke up this morning, I found the mistake. What you want to do is you've coded this event sheet, but you haven't linked it to your layout. So over here in the properties bar, go ahead and click your game layout. And right here, you'll see that this top little, menu, I guess you could call it, has the name of your layout. We need to make sure your event sheet is linked. So if your event sheet currently said none, please make sure it says ES Game. Remember, this is the size of our layout. So if for some reason you have, maybe like if you had like 420, you see how this gray bar is here? We want to make sure that this dotted outline is what we set when we very first made our game. We said that we wanted it to be 1280 by 720. So just make sure that you've got that going on. Sweet. So now let's go ahead and run our game. Ta-da-da! But problematic. We don't want bullets to shoot to the right, do we? Sweet. So now we're going to set the angle of motion. So we want to add something to our bullets. And so we're going to add action link and double click on the player bullet. So in order to make sure your bullet object is created, is moving the correct direction, you need to add an action to see it set the bullet angle of motion. So we're going to come back here to our event tab and we're going to add another action. We're going to add it to this keyboard space down because we want more things to happen. Like we're kind of like styling what's going to happen when the keyboard space is pressed down. So I clicked add action and now we're going to double click on the player bullet. And now we're going to come down here to angle of motion. If you somehow don't have this, you probably didn't add the bullet feature or the bullet behavior to your player ammo. Here we go. Now it says the angle is based off a 360 circle where 0 degrees will turn right, 180 will go left, 270 will go up. So we want our bullets to go up, so we're going to add 270 and click done. And now if we go ahead and click preview, we should see, whoa, this is cool. I'm sure we're going to do more to fix it, or to perfect it, should I say. Don't forget, whenever you do something cool, you should always click save. Oh, that was play. Save. Next, we want to bound to layout behavior to our player object. So, in order to make the spaceship movement, or in order to finish the spaceship movement, you're going to add a few things. Your spaceship could currently go off the screen. You can fix this by adding another behavior to your player. So I think I did this already in the previous video. As you see, you can add behaviors whenever. Yep, here we go. So if I was here, I'd come to add behaviors. I can add another one. I've already done it, but if you haven't yet, go ahead and you will click add new behavior and you should see it, I think, in the movement screen. So these are our two behaviors for our player. Bound to layout is going to stop the spaceship from being able to move off the screen. Now we're going to add a destroy outside layout behavior to the player bullet. So what we want to happen here is when the bullet goes off the screen, we want the bullet to delete itself, because otherwise it's going to still be generating like memory in your game, because your game is still picking up that the bullet is going off the screen even though we can't see it. So we need to tell our game this is something that your user won't see, but it's going to be really important to kind of keep your memory of your game low. So right here, we're going to add a behavior to the player bullet. Whoops. Remember, you're going to come over here to your behavior screen. It looks like I don't have any behaviors yet, other than it being a bullet. And so right here, destroy outside layout. Bing. Now we're going to go ahead and move the player bullet off screen. So if you see, when we play our game, it kind of like starts on, that one starts on screen. So there's not really a good answer for how to do this. We're just going to take this and let's just move it down here. This is kind of like initializing your variable off screen. So now I shouldn't have that one that flies across. There we go. Okay. And save and preview your game. Sweet. So there you go. Your game should now be able to fire bullets straight up. That's pretty much all we did in this lesson.